The X-Men. Number 31. We must destroy. The Cobalt Man. Bonus. Don't miss our gripping glimpses into the private lives of Marvel's much-maligned mutants. X-Men, the most unusual fighting team of all time. We must destroy the Cobalt Man. The thunder rolls, the lightning flashes. And suddenly, from out of dark, cascading clouds, there hurtles the high-flying angel. His gleaming wings, his hyper-trained muscles straining to the utmost as he plummets skillfully between two criss-crossing pillars of searing fire. With each pass I make, the flames come closer. This time, I could feel them scorch my wings. And next time, I may not be as lucky as that. Thus, now that you're empathetically and psychologically prepared for the epical events which follow, let's commence our awe-inspiring annal. In other words, we don't know what's going on till we turn the page either. Let's hear it for Merry Marvel's own peerless periodic table. Good as Gold editing by Stan Lee. Solid silver scripting by Roy Thomas. Platinum-plated penciling by Werner Roth. Iridium bright inking by John Tartaglione. Lead-lined lettering by Sam Rosen. Stable elements all. The angel's in trouble, Hank. It's up to you now. You know what to do. With all proper dispatch, Mr. Summers. Go get I'm Beastie. Your admonition is somewhat superfluous, Bobby boy. But it does cut to the quick of the matter. I'll go get him indeed. Hank, how in blazes did you get up here? That, my feathered friend, is scarcely the issue at hand. For the immediate present, just see that I tarry here a while. Is that all, Mr. McCoy? No sooner said than solved. Grab hold. There. Many thanks, lad, but it would appear that the smoke is fast enveloping us. You saw right. As of now, I'm flying blind. And those sweeping flames aren't getting any further away. Take heart, son. All this has already entered into our virtually impeccable considerations. At least I hope it has. While directly below. Now, Bobby, now! I'm doing the best I can, psych. This icebound maypole should build all the way to the ceiling. I just hope Hank's size 13s are all they're cracked up to be. And at almost that exact moment, 20 feet above the floor. You came through, Hank. You found Iceman's guide pole. Elementary, my dear Warren. All you need to do is possess a pair of super-sensitive pedal extremities like mine. Scant seconds later, a single lever is pressed lightly. And thunder and fire abruptly dissipate. Wow, those high-powered vents sure get rid of all the smoke in a hurry, Professor. And why not, Bobby, when we no longer have any need for it? You are all to be congratulated, especially the angel. Thank you, sir. I finally feel like I'm back in tip-top shape. Alas, as usual, the multi-talented beast merits no special approbation. Never mind, Hank, you were there. And that's what counts. Warren, I'd like to add my own congratulations to Professor Xavier's. It's great to fight alongside you again. Thanks, Scotty. although I hope the day comes when we can all turn in our cowls. Because there's no more menace from evil mutants. So say we all. He's a great guy. I only wish we weren't undeclared rivals for the love of Marvel Girl. Looks like the X-Men are back at full strength. Even though the depowered mimics returned to college. I only hope that the rehabilitated Mr. Rankin keeps our secret identities to himself. He said he would, and I believe him. Hey, what's wrong? Merely a mild case of frostbitten fingers, Mr. Drake. It's hard to believe it happened a whole 2 issues ago. Sentimental, Stan. My X-Men, you've performed excellently under the worst of conditions in recent weeks against the Banshee Ogre team, the Super Adaptoid, and the Warlock. What's more, Cerebro has not located any more emissaries of the secret group known as Factor 3 in this country. That's my roundabout way of saying you deserve the weekend off. Just be ready to resume training. And study on Monday. Hot dog! I'd almost forgotten that it's Friday. I gotta call Zelda. Want a double, Hank? You're on Bobby-O. And in between dates, there's a new volume out on quantum physics I've been desiring to peruse. Personally, I think I'll just hop in my Mustang and see where I wind up. Can I drop you anywhere, Psych? I appreciate the offer, Warren. But I think I'll just stay here and give the professor a hand with his experiments. There's no need for that, Cyclops. In fact, I have a favor to ask you. These books that Jean brought us on pre-Columbian civilization were never returned. And you'd like me to take them back to her? I'd be glad to, sir. I'll see you people? He must know that Angel is interested in Jean, too. And Warren'll be cruising around in his car anyways. So, I wonder why he asked me to give the books to Jeannie. Is she expecting them, Professor? I know she has some tests next week. I wrote her that I'd send someone. Thank you for going, Scott. For months, I've known that Scott loves Jean and feels he hasn't the right to tell her. Perhaps an egghead professor can give Cupid a helping hand. More importantly, I wanted everyone gone so I could pursue some experiments in private. For every man, there are some things that he must do alone. Just now, however, we must leave Charles Xavier to his enigmatic ponderings and pick up on Scott Summers as he emerges from the school a short time later. W.H. Warren, I figured you'd already be halfway to somewhere by now. I've got to confess, Psych, I was really planning to tool over to Metro and look up Jeannie. But I've currently had it with being secretive. So, how about that ride? Since you put it that way, partner, how can I refuse? Great! I vote we make the beauteous Miss Grey choose between us today. And as the 2 reconciled rivals wheel their way towards the girl they both adore, another perplexing problem is rearing its head in a most unexpected area. Special socks, oversized shoes, this being a mutant isn't all one might hope. Mutant! It's only here that the word can be spoken without arousing fear and hatred. Here, I'm a mutant, an X-Man. Out there, I'm nothing but a misshapen freak, or worse. So, I take refuge behind a vocabulary and would give half my life if I could have been born a mere Homo sapiens. Oh, hello, Robert Millard. I called the birds, Beastie. They'll be waitin' at the coffee a-go-go. Excellent, Bobby. ISAL be ready summarily. There I go again. Maybe there is no more Hank P. McCoy. Perhaps he's been supplanted by the omnipresent beast. But now, just to prove we haven't forgotten, there is also a feminine member of the X-Men. We switch our ever-shiftin' scene to Metro College, where... I'm glad you could. Make it Jeannie. I've written Ralph all about the grooviest co-ed on campus, but I know he'd rather see her in person. Hey, here's my long-lost sibling now. I wouldn't have missed a chance to meet your brother, Ted. And maybe learn why Ted feels such a rivalry with him, so that he knocks himself out to excel at sports. Greetings, Tiger. How's my favorite scholar? Hungry as usual? You know it, Ralphie. First, though, there's somebody I want you to meet. At this point, we'll skip the intros. Mainly 'cause we never can remember who gets introduced to whom. Then, my baby brother always did tend to understate things. You're even prettier than he claimed. I trust he's been filling your head with Shakespearean quotations. Actually, we were just talking about how they're remodeling the stadium. Stadium? That used to be my second home, gal. Okay, if I take a look. We're with you, alumnus. And a few minutes later, they may have added a new scoreboard. But it's still the same stadium where I set the school record for touchdown passes. That was back in the Dark Ages, Methuselah. Think you're still in shape? Try me, pal. Name your poison. Ralph's boasting is only half serious, and Ted knows it. Yes, despite his kidding, I can tell that Ted feels a need to prove himself. All right, old-timer, you're on. We'll see how good you still are at pole vaulting. I know you hold the record in that too. But I'm still bettin' I can take you. I see. You're gonna have to learn the hard way. Get me a pair of trunks and I'll teach you to respect your elders, sonny boy. Thus, some gym clothes are quickly found, and... Here's your pole, brother mine. Still remember how to hold it? Just watch me. And, while you're at it, you might take notes. Ted will be crushed if he loses in front of me. But there's no way to stop them now. Next, as Ted and Jean look on. Think you can beat this little jump, youngster? A lead pipe cinch. Wait, that pole's starting to give. It cracked in two. Ted! Don't worry, I'll land on my feet like a cat. But as the former college athlete twists his body to land properly... Oh, he struck his head on the upright. I knew we shouldn't have used one of those old discarded poles. If anything has happened to him. Luckily, it was only a glancing blow. He managed to avoid landing on his head. He's coming to. Ralph, are you okay? Speak to me, buddy. OWW, what do you want me to say? He's going to be all right. Still, that's a bad bruise. You ought to see a doctor. What? And let it be known that Ralph Roberts, boy industrialist, got conked on the noggin because he was too heavy for pole vaulting. Not a chance, lady. Now, winner by default, how about that meal? If I don't stab myself with the fork, that is. Sure thing, Ralph. There's a diner near Jeanstorm. Soon, bruises, and sibling rivalries are momentarily forgotten as Ted never mentioned that you used to work for Anthony Stark, Ralph. You say you experimented with cobalt? Among other things, Jean, I worked for Stark until a few months ago. Then, for reasons I'd rather not go into, I decided to branch out on my own. Thus was formed the fledgling Roberts Research Lab. Future historians, please note. And just in case you think that 3's a crowd, would ya believe 5? Ah, I knew those gorgeous flaming locks I saw couldn't belong to anybody but our Jeannie. Ted Roberts and another guy, this isn't exactly my lucky's day. Warren, Scott, come in and join us. No need to twist our arms, GL, we're in already. Looks like it's intro time again. Then, when things are back to normal once more, you mean you're inviting the 4 of us to ride out your new labs? Sounds great, Ralph. Sure, it's not far from here. Afterwards, you could take a bus to your old school. Old school. I'm sold. Lead me to it. Swing in! You know, sometimes it's not so bad having a genius for a brother. How about you two? Thanks, but I'd better bow out. I think I'll come if Warren doesn't mind. And so, as night falls, the jovial quartet take their leave. At least I can talk to Jean later. And I would like to see Ralph's labs. Let's move, crew. Time's a-wastin'. Are you positive you won't join us, Warren? You'll be missin' a real blast. Sorry, group, but I'm not quite in the mood for looking at test tubes. There's other fair-haired fish in the sea, and old Worry's gonna find 'em. Meanwhile, lest we overlook Hank and Bobby, let's drop in on Greenwich Village's Coffee A-Go-Go. Listen! Bernard the poet is reciting his latest masterpiece. Like, life is a yo-yo, and mankind keeps tying knots in the string. Go up. Go down, then call it progress. For happiness is a warm puppet. Isn't he Marvy, Hank? He's our answer to Bob Dylan. Personally, I'm even a bit uncertain of the question. What a groovy poem, and it's in free verse. It had to be. Nobody'd be nutty enough to pay 'em for it. Ah, my dear Zelda, I noted that you were properly enthralled by my amorphous ode to a yo-yo. Perhaps, if I might join you. Oh, we'd be delighted, wouldn't we, Bobby? Yeah, it'd make my day. It is truly inspiring, lovely Zelda, to find someone so totally in tune with my own poetic nature. You have the true soul of an artiste. Do you really think so, Bernard? Nuts! All that bearded bard wants is to cop a free cup of espresso. And, since he's such a cool cat, who am I to deny him? Something wrong, Bernie baby? Oh, no, nothing but perhaps I'd best be going. The rest of my appreciative public awaits. It's been a ball. Come again next winter, pal. Elsewhere, a somewhat startled Warren Worthington II finds that he has accidentally wandered into an electrified East Side world of post-twist teens and watu-eyeing teeny boppers. Hey, isn't this the pizza paradise? That was last week. Now it's the monkey's paw. Times change, Herbie. Come in and snap your mind. That's a groovy sound, even if it has been out for several months. You can't beat the oldies but goodies, Dad. Well, I might as well grab a gal and get in some shakin'. What? Guess who? Warren! That voice! It can't be, but it must. In fact, it is. Candy Southern, the light of my misspent youth. What are you doing in the big bad city? You mean there's a law that I had to stay in Nassau County forever? Treat me to a Diet Pepsi, lad, and we'll compare notes on the last couple of years. Best offer I've had today. Talk about your small worlds. And talk they do. So, with all the cuter neighborhood boys away at private schools, what was a girl gonna do? I talked my folks into letting me get an apartment. And wangled a job at the UN building. I take a few night courses at Archer College and... But I'm running on about myself. Run away, Candace! My time's a-comin'! Agreed, if you promise not to call me Candace again. But now that we've played Noah and paired off all our marvelous mutants, it's super-villain time. As in the small but modern Roberts Research Inc. And since its melting point is 1,495 degrees Celsius, we hope eventually to use an alloy of cobalt for a ship that can travel to the Earth's core. Overhead, you see a few scale models. They look almost operational. Compared to Ralph, I'm a dunce. How can I measure up to a brother like him? Now, Scott, while you and Jean look at those slides of the Earth's interior, I hope you'll excuse Ted and me for a few minutes. Of course! These colour shots are fantastic, eh, Jean? They certainly are. As X-Men, we've been below the Earth's surface. But nothing like this. Ted, follow me. I've got to show you something. Sure, Ralph, but why all the whispering? In answer, Ralph leads his younger brother to a nearby chamber where... Okay, what's the big secret? That I've got bad breath or something? I wanted you to be the first outsider to see our top priority project. If you can keep mum about it. Sure, but I don't see. You will see, Ted. The whole world will see. Next, a panel is slid open to reveal... What in? It looks like a silver-blue version of Iron Man's armor. You're almost right. That suit is made of one of our new cobalt alloys. I've only tested it once, but help me into it and I'll show you what it can do. Are you sure you should, Ralph? After all, you got a nasty bump a while ago. Why are you out to compete with Iron Man anyway? The main reason I quit Stark Industries, Ted, is because he and Stark refused to divulge the secret of Iron Man's costume. I've observed Iron Man several times. And I think I can duplicate some of his feats in this armor of superior cobalt. Then, unlike Iron Man and Stark, I'll turn the blueprints over to the government. They claim Iron Man's suit is too dangerous, that its power would overwhelm most men. But I'm sure they're wrong. Or lying. Stand back while I activate the suit. Now! Instantly, torrents of cascading energy surge through the transistorized armor. And as Ted looks on amazed. Look at what my cobalt-powered recoil beam does to that ceiling. But if it's worn over 2 hours, the armor starts producing the deadly radioactive cobalt-60, and I'd soon turn into a walking C-bomb. That beam must be nearly as strong as Iron Man's repulsor rays. I'm betting it's stronger, Ted. Watch this. My transistors, operating by Stark's own principles. Increase my physical strength 100 times. Ralph Roberts could never make a mighty leap like this, but it's duck soup for the Cobalt Man. Then, as the blue-clad figure descends. Well, what do you think now? It's wonderful, Ralph, but what about that ceiling you demolished? Ceiling? What does a thing like that mean to me? I can easily repair it. I can do anything. I feel strange. My head's starting to ache. Terribly. It must be the after effects of your fall. Maybe you better leave the superhero stunts to Iron Man for a while. Iron Man, don't mention that costumed traitor in my presence. I should seek him out and show him he's no match for me. He's out of his head. He sounds almost like another person. You can't challenge Iron Man, Ralph. He's no traitor. Besides, what about the 2 hours time limit? You don't want to turn into a human C-bomb. Here, let me help you off with your helm. Keep away from me, you young fool. No one may touch the Cobalt Man. And, as Ted falls, struck unconscious by a heavy metal glove, his assailant's attention turns elsewhere. The name, Iron Man, keeps coursing through my brain as if it were on fire. Must find that traitor and destroy him for the good of mankind. But first, there's something I must do in that lab. Next, the armored scientist stops before a large mold. Once my recoil beams have destroyed this equipment, it will be safe from betrayers like Iron Man. Then, until I reveal my secrets, there can be but one Cobalt Man. Yet, though recoil beams are relatively silent, machinery being destroyed is notoriously noisy. And so, those sounds like something being ruthlessly smashed. This would happen just when I'm finally alone with Jean. They came from up ahead. Darn it! Scott was all set to ask me for a date. I know he was. But then all thoughts of romance are forgotten. In there, some creep in armor tearing up Ralph's labs. You clear out Jean while I take him on as Cyclops. Not on your life, Scott Summers. My costume's in my suitcase and I'm going with you. Thus, in record time, the hulking blue form hears a pair of footfalls above and... All right, I don't know who you are under that helmet, mister, but it's a cinch you're not the interior decorator. I don't get it, Ralph, and Ted should be here by now. Has that character done something with them? You two look familiar. I should know you. There are a lot of crooks who know about Cyclops and Marvel Girl. Of course, 2 of the X-Men masked just like Iron Man. You must be his friends, and, like him, traitors. Traitors? What are you? Look out! He's shattering the catwalk. He's got repulsor rays just like Iron Man. What? You dare compare that villain to me, to the Cobalt Man? For that, you must pay. Fearlessly, the 2 mutants leap forward. This chain will break my fall. Are you okay, Marvel Girl? Yes, my levitational power will lower me gently. But we've got to protect Ted and Ralph. as well as what's left of the lab.
Ha! You'll do well to defend yourselves from my attack.
That form-fitting armor must give him fantastic power. I can barely hold him back with my telekinesis. Cyclops, hurry! It'll take both of us to stop him. Right, and how's this for a starter? Must land so that I can bring my optic blasts into play. While I'm swinging wild like this, I might accidentally hit Jean. I carelessly turned my back on you. That won't happen again.
And once more, now let's see if that cobalt zoot suit can stand up to my I-beams.
Where? He leaped out of their path.
What did you expect me to do, fool?
Stand still like a living target for your blasts?
And once more, you miss.
But I have toyed with you long enough.
Now, Cobalt Man will take the offensive. Stay behind me, Marvel Girl. We don't know what he'll try next. You needn't protect me. I can take care of myself.
Can you? I doubt if either of you can.
And now I'll prove it.
Look out! He knocked the support out from under that metal cab. His rays are as powerful as Iron Man's.
We'll never get out of the way. In time.
Then, as Scott and Jean are lost from sight beneath the awesome mass of falling metal, the chamber is filled with the callous laughter of the man who was once Ralph Roberts. They are finished, buried beneath tons of debris. Yet even with their last breaths, they reminded me of my vendetta with Iron Man and Tony Stark. My task here must wait until I have destroyed the traitor's nest that is Stark Industries.
But, with apologies to Mark Twain, all reports of the mutants' deaths are somewhat exaggerated. For as the schizophrenic supervillain zooms off.
Luckily, the cab was hollow, but blasting a hole through the bottom exhausted my I-beams for a while. Are you all right, Jen? Just a bit shaken, yet my power alone can't budge the cab? Where are Ted and Rolf? Has the Cobalt Man harmed them? We'd better contact the other X-Men, but how? You forget, Gene Professor Xavier recently equipped us with signal devices inside our wristwatches.
This is our first chance to see if they work. Yes, I should have thought of that.
I can't stop worrying about Ted. And what might have happened to him?
Scott never panics. He was born to be a leader of the X-Men. But was I born to be one of them? We can't call the professor telepathically unless he opens his mind to us. So, this new electronic mentor call is designed to have him do just that.
I only hope its range is great enough. However, Scott Summers' fears prove groundless. And almost instantaneously, miles away. A mental message is coming in on Cyclops' frequency.
He indicates serious trouble.
But not immediate personal danger. Then I won't interrupt these vital experiments. But I'll contact the rest of the X-Men at once. And so, seconds later, at the coffee, a go. Hey, dig, the college type laying him down. He's ahead of his time. I thought you said you couldn't do the monkey, Hank.
You're a natural. Is that intended as a compliment or an insult?
Uh-oh, a mental summons from the professor.
Pardon me, Vera. I must confer for a moment with my more cognizant colleague on a few new steps.
Bobby, lad, did you? Loud and clear, Hank. We better move, and fast. But Henry, you were doing so well on your own. You'll have to pardon our dust gals, but Hank and I got a split.
What, again? These sudden exits are getting to be chronic with those two.
I could understand being stood up, but in the middle of a date? Do you think they're any madder than usual, Hank? That's hardly probable, Mr. Drake. Remember the last time we took our leave to the accompaniment of a symphony of flying teacups. We're getting instructions on where to go. I wonder what. I'd prefer not to hazard a guess. But we'd best hurry. Taxi! Ah, it's stopping.
Now to ascertain just how far $1.35 will transport two less than affluent superheroes.
While, at approximately the same time, farther uptown. And so, since graduation, our instructors had us pursuing college-level work. There are only 3 other students now. But they've all got some special, ability. It sounds like a posh place. Do they take applicants? Uh-oh, looks like I oversold the school.
I'd better change the subject before she gets too curious.
Say, I've been out of touch for a while, Candy.
Think you could show me some new dances? I thought you'd never ask.
But suddenly.
I'm sorry, Candy. I just remembered an errand. I promised the professor I'd run for him.
Tell you what, how about me giving you a buzz tomorrow? If that's the best you can do, I'll take it.
Then, a short time later, a speeding Mustang races through the brisk night air.
But its driver finds it difficult to concentrate completely on the mission at hand. What a lucky break! Meeting Candy the same night I decided to give up on Jeannie. It's almost like fate. Well, no matter what it is, I'm going to make the best of it.
And that's a promise.
But I'd better get a move on.
The professor said to get out to Long Island Sound.
And fast.
As back at the belabored laboratory of Roberts Research, Inc.
We've got to get out of here somehow. Before Cobalt Man attacks Stark Industries.
That hook and chain. Jean, do you think you could turn on its motor?
Why, of course. That's something else I should have thought of right away.
Am I getting careless? Or is it just that I'm more worried about Ted than I am about stopping the Cobalt Man?
There, that did it. Next, lower the chain and use your telekinetic power to draw it to me.
Good girl! Now it'll be easy to reverse the motor and free us.
You know, I can't help thinking that our foe sounded a lot like Ralph Roberts. Come to think of it, he did have the same kind of voice, the same inflections. But it doesn't make sense. Why would Ralph wreck his own equipment?
And, scant moments later, the two mutants are still pondering this question as they rush from the lab.
Whoever the Cobalt Man is, he's got a good head start on us. With no means of transportation, how we'll ever overtake him? Your guess is as good as mine. We'll have to play this thing by ear. Here's Ralph's panel, but that doesn't help us until we find him and Ted. Jean, what is it? Shh, it's Ted on the run. His head is bandaged and listen.
Ralph, I gotta stop him. can't let him run wild in that cobalt armor. Then it was Ralph we fought. Quick, Jean, into the truck.
With luck, Ted will take us straight to his brother. And so, within seconds, Ted Roberts is speeding through the night. Unaware that he is also carrying 2 super-powered passengers to a fateful rendezvous.
I've no clue as to where Ralph might have gone, except for his rantings about Iron Man.
And Tony Stark. I can only head for Stark Industries and pray that I can stop him if he goes there.
Meanwhile, not to forget about Hank and Bobby. Alas, for the days when superdoers were all millionaires in masks.
We were even less well-heeled than imagined, and that cabbie was singularly unsympathetic. Cheer up, you didn't need that wristwatch anyway. Hey, that car, it looks like. Warry, wad I know, it's about time our luck picked up. I'll wager the Avengers need never resort to hitchhiking. Don't look so surprised. The professor helped me locate you after all. We're not far from Stark Industries. Hop aboard and we'll find out what this midnight ride is all about.
Thus, within minutes.
There's the factory, but it's dark. I thought it was going 24 hours a day. Now I recall, the plant was destroyed recently, and this new building won't be dedicated till Monday. Correct, lad. Still, why isn't Iron Man here to protect his prestigious employer's property? I.e., this saga takes place before the epical events in number 89, Loophole Lee. At this point, just in case a few mixed-up MARV lights share Hank's bewilderment, we'd best mention that Tony Stark has a date this very evening. After all, even Iron Man can't be everywhere. Then, after the Mustang is carefully camouflaged, I'll see if I can spot anything menacing from up here. Ah, what a relief to get out of harness and into the sky once again. But in his exhilaration, the angel momentarily forgets to look earthward, where... So, the 2 X-Men whom I fought somehow contacted their costumed cohorts. I should not have delayed so long to test my powers. No matter, they like their fellows. Will merely relieve my boredom till I can locate Iron Man.
One mighty leap and...
Missed! The winged mutant must have heard me and banked aside at a 90-degree angle. That's what you get for talking to yourself, friend.
Now, what say we talk this over and...
Sheesh!
Bah! You're of no interest to me.
My quarrel is with Iron Man. If it was up to me, mister, he could have you. Look! Some nutty guy in armor is attacking Angel. That must be the menace that Psyche warned the professor about. A masterpiece of deductive logic, son. Meanwhile, I've calculated our bounding foe's trajectory.
And, with good fortune, I should be there to intercept him. Too late, by the merest microsecond.
But that second is enough, fool. For me to do this.
Oof, my near miss turned into a near catastrophe.
Yet, what lucky star prevented me from being pulverized? I wouldn't call myself a lucky star, beast. I'm more in the nature of a guardian angel. You deflected my aim and then swooped out of reach. I must reach a vantage point. from which I'll be immune to your attack. And he just might have found it. From that bridge, he can see in all directions. But what's his game? Why is he after Iron Man? Don't seek to trick me. I know you are all in league with that ironclad traitor.
Huh? He acts like we're the baddies, not him.
Perhaps an explanation is forthcoming. Group.
Our vehicles approaching at top velocity. Now, that truck? It belongs to the brother of Ted Roberts, Jeannie's college flame?
In fact, that's Ted driving it. What's he got to do with our costumed cook?
Follow my lead, and we'll find out.
Who are you? This is a dangerous place for a picnic just now.
I saw you from down the road.
You're fighting my brother. What? We've got to act boldly so Ted doesn't suspect you and I arrived with him.
But I thought there were 5 X-Men.
There are, P.A.
Psych! Marvel Girl! How? Never mind that Iceman. What do you know about the Cobalt Man, fella?
I know he'll die, unless you stop him. What do you mean? Quickly, Ted relates the dread secret of Ralph Roberts' armor. And he told you he'd turn into a walking cobalt bomb after 2 hours?
He must have meant that the radioactive cobalt-60 in his suit would reach critical mass then and explode.
I guess so, and the 2 hours are almost up. We've got to stop him, even if it means destroying him. Just then, as if in brazen defiance of the angel's words, "You weaklings! You can do nothing to prevent the vengeance of the Cobalt Man. Even now, more and more power courses through my armor."
He's starting to glow. He's becoming radioactive.
Almost instantly, a desperate last-ditch plan forms in the mind of Scott Summers, and it's a precarious plot at best. But I'll do my part. We all must, or else.
I'll guard this side of the bridge.
Move, Bobby. Thousands of lives are at stake.
There's no sense even trying to reason with Roberts.
The armor's sheer power has mentally unbalanced him. Hey, that was close.
It will be closer, fool, if you do not flee. Now I sense your purpose. You flew near me to distract me, so that the beast could attack in the truck.
But he will find it no protection.
Uh-oh, time now for the better part of valor. What? Do you seek to dislodge me merely by crashing the truck into the bridge?
You will have to do better than that to defeat the Cobalt Man. While, at that very instant, quiet Bobby Hank's play enabled us to scramble down here unseen. But if Ralph even suspects we're here, we've had it! And so has half of Long Island.
For all our sakes, I hope your idea of a double diversion worked.
As above.
Hank! Thank heaven you're all right!
A mere technicality, lass, if that armour isn't short-circuited within seconds.
The moment of truth is indeed upon us.
2 of them making a suicidal assault.
If they desire death, then death it shall be. Eh? A freezing blast, forming ice over my power pack.
2 more, attacking from beneath the bridge. But They'll come no further. He's spotted us. Got to blast him now. And pray. If this doesn't work, we won't last till his armor explodes.
That optic blast couldn't dislodge me. But the friction it created melted the ice around my chest plate.
One final leap, and I shall finish those 2 intruders by hand. My power pack, something is happening to it. Psych, it worked. His armor's kaput. Can't leap to shore. Help! He's dropping like a rock. Must fly like I never flew before. Got him, just in time. If he'd gone under in that heavy suit, he wouldn't have had a chance. Seconds later, back on the shore. His armor, it stopped glowing. Then, he's no longer a menace?
Ralph, are you all right?
No, Angel. The same I-beams that melted the ice also forced it into any slightest opening in his chest plate. I gambled that water would short-circuit his power source, and luckily I did. He's coming to. Quick, take off his helmet so he can breathe more easily. And after Ted has related recent events to an amnesiac Ralph Roberts.
You say I almost destroyed us all just because of a bump on my head? Tony Stark was right. Armor, like Iron Man's, is too powerful. You say I almost destroyed us all. You say I almost destroyed us all just because of a bump on my head? Tony Stark was right. Armor like Iron Man's is too powerful, too dangerous for most men to handle. A tough way to talk, big brother.
There are a zillion other things you can invent that the world needs a lot more. Soon, as the group prepare to separate, Ralph and I better get back and see about the 2 guests we left behind. Still, on second thought, I doubt if they've been exactly bored out of their minds, eh?
Way he said that? Could Ted have seen through my disguise and know I'm really Jean Grey? Oh no, that's all we need, secret identity trouble. When are the X-Men gonna stop being the hard luck Harrys of the superhero trade?
Next-ish, the X-Men face the most terrifying of threats, or, as Lewis Carroll might have put it, beware the juggernaut, my son. Nuff said.
Next issue. Tales of Suspense. Number 89.